Hi, I'm Mike McCann. I'm the CEO of Sunflow.
Mr. McCann, good to see you.
Z, pleasure to be here. Thank you.
For taking time out of your busy schedule to join me.
Yeah, actually, big pleasure.
Yeah. Oh, it's been about 6 months since we started working together, and you have been an interesting case, an interesting client to work with, because right from the get-go, right from day one, you were all in, both feet, all in, and I would love for you to just share a little bit about what it was that had you say yes and dive in full body all the way in, and what were you going through? What was life like back in May that had you say yes to the coaching?
Yeah. So I think we met on the Monday via Zoom, and you said, Mike, we hit it off right away. I liked you. I was inspired by you. I was connected to you. I felt you could coach me, right? And I'm a hard guy to coach because I've lots of experience and I'm not here to waste anybody's time. And, maybe before I go into a little more detail, when I was about, 16, 17, my grandfather, the last thing he ever said to me was in Scotland. This guy still today, I think, holds like 16 of the world pigeon racing champions of the world. Smart guy. Said a lot of other things I won't say on camera, but interesting guy. Only met him 5 or 6 times because I lived here in Canada. And the last thing he said to me was, Michael, if you're going to walk, walk. If you're going to run, run. Don't wobble. And every mistake I've made in my life, I can seriously say it's because I've wobbled.
Okay.
So when I talked to you, I hit it off with you. I had my instincts were going 10, 10, 10. I liked you. This charming smile of yours, right? Sweetens the deal. But you saw me on a Monday, but I've been searching for a coach for 2 years. I believe in coaching. I've never had a coach, but I believe in mentoring. I'm a mentor to others. And I know the transformation that a mentor, that a coach, that a leader, that someone who inspires you, someone who keeps you accountable can do. So met you on the Monday. You asked me to join you on the Wednesday. I'm like, Zarak, you're fucking crazy. Like, I got a busy schedule. And you said, well, what's it like? I said, well, I got a crazy meeting on Monday. He's like, great. You leave on Wednesday, you're back on Sunday. So I said,
and just to clarify, the invitation was to join me for a 4-day retreat in Tulum.
Sorry, yes. 40. It
wasn't like, come have lunch with me. It's like, hey, come to Mexico with me on Wednesday.
Sorry, one of your retreats, yes, with a bunch of strange men. Not strange men, but strange men to me. And you just kind of sold the deal. And, I thought back to my grandfather. I could walk and think about it for another 6 months, but I already have thought about it for 2 years. I'm going to run and I'm going to go for it. And I'm going to take a chance, take a risk. And boom, met you, hit it off with the guys. And more importantly to me than the relationships was the impact it had on my life. And it still has an impact on my life.
Yeah. No, I appreciate your willingness to say yes and go all in. Just says a lot about who you are as a person, and the fact that you were very conscientious and methodical in your process. Thank you for choosing me, for trusting me to do the work together. It's been, a journey over the last 6 months, and obviously it's a roller coaster, the ups and downs. So I would love for you to just share, a little bit about what the experience has been like for you over these past months, because now, reflecting back from where you are, in many ways, a lot of what we were doing was very new for you, and we went to some places that you probably never thought we were going to go to. So I would love for you to just share a little bit about what has the journey been like the last 6 months.
Yeah, that came off you with a lot of ease, but to answer that question is really heavy. It's heavy for me. There's a lot in there, what this journey has entailed. And the journey, if I can just maybe summarize it, and then if you want me to go deeper, I will. If I knew the journey that I was going to take, I never would have accepted it. Because it's not what I wanted.
Right.
It's not what I wanted in life. I wanted business coaching. I wanted, okay, I got a deal. Give me some type of perspective that I'm not thinking about connections, whatever that may be, for me to move forward to the next deal. That really was my focus. And then let's talk about your feelings. What the fuck you talking about? Like, okay, let's talk about my feelings. Let's get to business. Yeah. And then quickly, okay, this is a deep dive in your personality. I do believe that you can only attract who you are.
Sure.
And I had to sit there very quickly and say, okay, am I going to run or am I going to stay? Right? I decided to stay, and it's had a major impact in my life, and so maybe I'll push it back to you and just say, listen, like, I could spend 4 hours talking about it, but I don't think you're...
Well, yeah, I remember, when we first started coaching, you said one of my main goals, I'm doing about 10 million in revenue right now, and I want to get to 100 million. And I asked you, okay, well, what is so relevant or important about hitting 100 million? And, there was the lifestyle, some of the freedom, the experience that you wanted to enjoy in life. But I kept pushing to ask the real meaning. And that was a big breakthrough moment. So I'd love for you to share more on that.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, 100 million wasn't just an arbitrary number. It was a number that I felt was a goal, right? Some goals that you don't reach, but you're still completely satisfied. Right. And some goals you punch right over and you're still leaving yet you wanting. So it was kind of an arbitrary number, but it was about 10 times of what I was doing in business. And when you put it into perspective of like, Mike, you just made $100 million this year. Who are you? I actually felt like empty because nothing worse would be to reach a goal like that and feel worse than you feel now.
Right.
And so you gave me some perspective. You gave me something to digest, which I did digest. And we walked through it together. And I realized, the 100 million is not the number. Being fulfilled is.
Exactly.
And doing all these fucking modules that you can send on to do are going to have a major impact on me getting to fulfillment.
Yeah.
Right? And does that kind of answer the question?
Yeah. So, what we really got clear on is how would you feel when you hit that mark, and what will it have really brought to your life, and what does that number actually mean to you? And when we got deeper into it and we started talking about true fulfillment and purpose and what really lights you up in a way that no amount of money could ever acquire, and something that can't be taken away from you, we started diving deeper into the essence of who you are. And ultimately the 100 million is just a byproduct of your fulfillment and your joy, and as you said, what you're attracting by way of who you're being.
Yeah, the 100 million, I almost want to stop talking about it because it's just so past me now. But let's talk about it, because maybe this will have some relevance. Is the 100 million was just me saying I wanted to wake up every morning and live a fulfilled life, and not have the energy of making money, the energy of scarcity, the energy of hustling, the energy of putting that warrior mask on and going out there with my spear and hunting down my business that I've done for, 30, 40 years, right? And that 100 million, I just wasn't relevant anymore because I would rather make minimum wage and be completely happy, fulfilled than I would be a guy who's got 7 homes around the world and has a meaningless life.
Yeah, is lonely and miserable, right? And the reason why this is such an important point, because there are some men or women that are watching this right now, and they've got this goal. Maybe it's like, I want to have that 10-bedroom house in the Hamptons, or I want to hit 100 million, or I need to have that Bugatti. There are people out there who are striving towards a specific goal, and they think that when they get that goal, it's going to bring them the freedom and the happiness and the fulfillment they want. And if they're fortunate enough and they get it, they're going to realize that that goal isn't where the gold is, right? Now, for you, when we shifted the perspective around the belief of what is fulfillment for you and the real relevance of the 100 million, and you kind of said, no, I'm letting go of that number. And you really started focusing on your intrinsic value, not your external, superficial value, right? Something really profound happened. I don't know if you're open to sharing this, but right now you have a significant amount of proposals in the pipeline.
Yes.
Are you?
Absolutely, I'm prepared to discuss that, but I would love to wait.
And we don't have to go deep into it.
No,
but
we can go deep, and I want to share with your audience. I'm really here to serve, and I have to be honest with you. It's not really my nature.
Yeah,
I'm kind of a guy that wants. So because of our journey, and if people are challenging my authenticity, I'd be completely authentic, being completely real. I'm in the change mode right now.
Sure, yeah.
The 100 million was just a distraction. it was a distraction to focus on that, right? So if I wasn't getting my way, or if I wasn't leaning into a problem, or if I wasn't dealing with an issue, that 100 million was tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'll get it tomorrow.
Okay.
So I didn't have to deal with some problems today.
Mm-hmm.
And what you've uncovered a lot
Mm-hmm.
is a deep dive into how I feel about myself, how my perspective is with my family, my friends, my loved ones, my business community, the world, my spiritual existence, right? Which is a major part of my life. And that 100 million was just a distraction.
Yeah.
And as soon as I let that go, maybe I'll bring it up now. As soon as I let that 100 million go, I'll just say it. Like, I'm currently working on $500 million right now, currently in the marketplace right now, of real numbers, real opportunities, real people, different countries. It's check marks for all there.
Yeah.
And so last year I was working on $30,000-$40,000 deals. Now I'm working on $300 million deals.
Yeah.
And that's happened in the past 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
It's been less than 2 months, I think.
Yeah. And again, that's a byproduct of who you've become by letting go of the need of what that 100 million meant to you, of who you thought you needed to be,
Yeah.
or who you would be with that. But when you let go of that and you started focusing on your relationships with others, most importantly, your relationship with yourself, and you started to do the things that allowed you to feel more self-love and appreciation and gratitude for your life, then you opened up your vessel to receive more abundance, right? And this is why often when I work with a lot of CEOs and founders like you, they're like, well, when are we going to talk about business? Like, I hired you so we could, I want to grow my business. I want to make more money. And the irony is not about teaching you how to scale your business, what you need to do. It's more about helping you to uncover who you truly are. So you're being that new version of you, stripping away all the blockages, the past trauma, the limiting beliefs, all the stories. As you said, you were distracting yourself with this number, avoiding dealing with what was really there. Yeah. Now, when we shifted from the number and we focused on the internal values, the internal purpose, and you started going deeper within, then the real abundance came. And I don't want to say it came easy, but it started flowing. It is flowing.
No, Zarak, like, it did come easy. like it actually absolutely did come easy.
Yeah.
And I definitely don't want to mislead, your audience and people. Like, we're in negotiations right now, but it came easy. Like, and I can't quantify and tell you how it got connected to me, and I can't even listen to you and say, yeah, I believe you 100%. I'm still in the learning process. I'm still actually not even believing what's happening is true, but I can tell you I'm ready for it. If it happens, great. If it doesn't happen, I'm actually okay with it.
Yeah, and that's why it's happening. You're not attached to it. And what I will share, because I've seen this with countless other clients in other ways, whether it be calling in their life partner, whether it be new business opportunities or whatever coming to them, it's becoming the vibrational match for that thing that you desire. And when you have been going deep and cleaning up your mess, restoring integrity, honoring your values and living in alignment with the version of you are becoming, as you are living a life that's more coherent to who you are, and your frequency continues to raise and your vessel continues to expand, then you are just there to receive and receive. And that's where most people get this confused, because they're operating from a place of scarcity, a place of greed and fear. And that's the biggest game changer, is to really understand what is creating the scarcity and the fear. Let's resolve that. Let's clean that up, heal what needs to be resolved there. And then you become open and ready to receive true abundance.
And I'll tell you, I feel like I've just opened the can. Like, I'm really excited for going deeper on all levels. And I'm excited about, I've said this for many years, climbing a mountain is no fun by yourself.
Yeah.
Like, it's 90 seconds. Okay, let's go down. But with people, the more people you can bring to that party. And that really is the big dream, the big passion, the big vision that I have. Like, how many people can I bring with me? How many people's lives can I change? And that really does come from here, but I'm going to use this too.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a bit of both, right? It's about getting to that place where you're secure, you're stable, and you are in a position now to turn around and give a helping hand to the guys who are on their way up, right? Because like you said, being at the top of the mountain all by yourself is boring, right? In the program, you have been a contribution by sharing so open and vulnerably and just being an example of what the work is like. You know, on a couple of calls, you've helped Jazz and a few of the guys, sharing with them what it's been like now that you've been in the program 5 or 6 months for guys that are newer. And that is the amazing thing, is when you can now start to be the example and the embodiment of the work. And for those who are new, who might be a little bit skeptical when they hear, oh my God, in 5 or 6 months, you went from there to here. That's incredible. You're giving them the motivation and inspiration they need to hear to be like, wow, I want to go all in. Because as you know, a lot of guys, they join and they're not all in because they're either not fully committed to themselves or they're skeptical.
I can't remember where I heard this. It could have even been from you or one of the guys in the group or in a podcast, but I've actually got a new mantra in life. It's live life to win. Stop living life just not to lose.
Yeah, yeah.
And whether I'm playing tennis or pickleball or sports or at work, and it may look like a minute change. It is a game changer. Get in there and win. Yeah. Stop doing the minimum. Stop stretching. Actually lean into it and put everything you have into it. Pull your resources, pull your spirituality, right? Get into it, visualize it, understand it, be it, own it.
Yeah. It may not be a win every day, but at least you showed up prepared to win.
Yeah, but it's a win every day. Like, I don't know one person in this world that would tell me or tell you that in the formula of success, there isn't a whole shitload of failures. Would you not agree with that statement?
In the formula of success?
The formula of success. I don't care what that success is. Raising a child, having a relationship, business, that you're going to have failures within that success model.
I'm curious to have you share what have been some of like the big like epiphanies and the breakthroughs that you've had that have resulted in the shift that has transpired.
Like, one was definitely like the 100 million. Stop focusing on that goal because people smell it, right? Epiphany that I had is every day I refuse to enter into a relationship that's transactional. And I was the king of transactional relationships. I was in politics. I was in business. I worked 1,700 different masks, right? I would say or do whatever it took to get the deal done. All done ethically. It wasn't like I was doing something that wasn't ethical, but you mean just whatever it took. And since I've taken your course, Zarak, since I've been coached by you, since you've become a dear friend, that I've learned from you in many different ways, that those relationships just aren't worth my energy.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't want to mislead or have other relationships that are transactional. And it doesn't mean every time you're going to meet somebody, you're going to like go on vacation with them the next day, but just go in with the intent that you actually want the best for that person. So I would say that was the biggest fundamental change, going in and not just saying it, but actually thinking it and feeling it, that it's a win-win-win. How does this relationship, everybody wins.
Yeah.
Right. I told you, and I tell people in my bubble, like I've kind of hung up the warrior sword, and now I've put the toothpick in my mouth, become the gardener, become the farmer.
Now you've got the shaman staff.
The shaman.
Yeah. One thing that we identified early on, and you were very present to it, you said, I want to take the mask off.
Yeah.
I want to be my most authentic self. Yeah. And that, I feel, has been one of the biggest breakthroughs for you, because even as I sit here with you thinking about who you were in May when we met and who you are now, you have a more grounded, calm, non-performative energy. You know, so I would love for you to share a bit about the mask you were wearing and what that has been like to take off the mask and allow yourself to really be seen.
You know, like Zarak, you say that, you know, I'm a different guy, but I don't feel any different, right? And I've had people in my bubble comment on it too. So, I mean, it's definitely happened. But yeah, I just kind of like had everything in life. It wasn't fulfilled. And I believe it's a quote from one of your modules. And you'd mentioned something in a video that really hit me. It's like when you wear the mask and you build a relationship with people, whether it's a girlfriend or whether it's a business relationship or even just a friend, if you're always wearing the mask, well, they're not falling in love. They're not liking
Right.
Mike McCann.
Mm-hmm.
They're liking Zorro,
Exactly.
whoever that mask is. And I was just like, oh my gosh. I was just like, that was an epiphany. Because what am I doing?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what am I doing? Like, we've got one life to live, right? For some, it's short, and for some, unfortunately, it's even shorter. Mm-hmm. And that was a big punch in the face. Like, what am I doing? What's the point of trying to get all this life lessons, but it's not really you? And I would say that may not be the biggest, but that's up there.
Yeah.
And so thank you for that. And I say it because I'm kind of getting emotional. Like fuck, man. How many years have I wasted? How many relationships have I wasted because I had that mask on?
Yeah.
And so I don't want to live in the pity party.
Mm-hmm.
I want to learn from it. And, I've never actually spoken about it publicly. I don't really talk this way publicly. This is definitely a deep dive for me off the cliff, for sure. But I'm like super happy to do it.
Yeah.
I think it's part of my healing journey and my growth. Right. But I'm like really kind of stoked that someone listens to this and they connect.
Yeah.
That
and look, there's people who are going to listen and watch this, and they're going to ask, hey, wait a minute, am I wearing a mask? And the truth is that we are all wearing masks for most of our life until something happens that causes us to realize, oh, wait a minute, am I actually really living my true life? Am I actually being my authentic self? And you got to a point where you realized that you were not really being yourself. And to your point about how can someone love you if you're wearing a mask? Because we're also then thinking, can I actually trust their love if they're loving a false version of myself? Then is this a real connection? And I know you're a man with a big heart and lots of love to give, and wanting those real connections is something that's very important for you. And in recognizing the mask, but then diving into why did you create the mask, right? Yeah. And understanding at what point in time did little Mikey decide, I got to start being this way. I got to start looking this way, acting this way in order to receive love. And that's when we form the mask, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm still learning, and I definitely don't want to come across like I'm an authority. But it's painful. It's a lot of hurt, and I think a lot of go-getters, personalities, people that have drive, people that have a goal, people that are driven. I shouldn't speak for everybody, but I just push all that down, just push it down, and I was blown away by what you and I discovered about myself, right? Like I was shocked at some of the realizations that you and I had. Yeah. I'm still shocked because I'm just 6 months ago, I would tell you to fuck off. What are you talking about? I don't feel that way about myself, right? Yeah. Like absolutely I do. Mm-hmm. And it's a little emotional because like I'm not out of the water yet. I'm still healing. I don't want to use the word healing because I feel like that's kind of a victim mentality because I'm definitely not a victim. It's just growth.
Sure.
And, if not now, when?
It's only when something breaks down or we get to a point in time in our life where we're just not happy, not fulfilled, that we got to ask ourselves, like, what's missing here? Mm-hmm. And it's been beautiful to witness you taking off the mask and to really just allow yourself to be seen, and also to connect to the parts of you that you have neglected for many years. That in itself is that is the work, that is the goal of what we do here, because I'm not telling you anything to become someone different. I'm just helping you to get back to who you really are.
I love that you said that because, you said earlier something about the new Mike. And I'm like, no. I'm not searching for the new Mike. Mm-hmm. I'm searching for the real Mike.
Yeah.
That's what I'm searching for. Some days I find it. Some days I'm like, oh, wait a sec. I left it back there. I better go back and get it.
Yeah, well, it's because, the false Mike ran the show for 40 plus years, right? And he's a hard guy to get rid of at times because the false Mike has served you in many ways. False Mike has, really crushed it at times. But now for the next level of Mike 5.0.
Yeah.
Because it's your 50th tomorrow. Because for Mike 5.0, you're going to have to leave Mike 3.0 behind, right?
Very happy to leave that behind.
Yeah. Well, you're well on your way, my man.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
I am. What would you say to someone who's considering investing in coaching, but just not sure if it's something for them?
Well, first of all, if someone's looking for a coach, they can ask some real questions. Are they coachable? Are they ready?
Yeah.
Like, are they ready to be coached? Are they ready to take it to the next level? And if they're like, I don't know, how do you find that? Well, look at your life. Look at what you've done, right? Look at what you do on a day-to-day basis. Look what you do on a week-to-week, month-to-month basis, and ask yourself, today, are you feeling fulfilled and are you happy, right? And if the answer is yes, then don't get a coach, right? Or get a coach and just wing it and see what goes. But if you're actually like living life and you're dialed in, because if you're not dialed in, you're going to be uncoachable, right? So therefore, there's no sense of wasting anybody's time. So if you dive in and you say, yeah, like I'm ready to take it to the next level, because quite frankly, I've been trying for whatever period of time and I'm not getting the results I want. And then that's the micro, that's the inner. The external part is like, show me anywhere in the world that success has availed. Success has become successful. That makes sense. Where that person didn't have a mentor or coach. I don't know anybody. I don't know anybody said they did it on their own.
Right.
So getting back to your original question, what could I say if I was watching myself with this coach is that I would say, if not now, when? And get deep inside yourself and actually really understand, are you willing to do what it takes to make that change? And then go out and interview. You were not the first coach I talked to. I talked to Tony Robbins. I talked to a lot of names that we all know. I also talked to a lot of independent people. I talked to people in South America. I talked to a guy in Australia, some Americans, right? I was in, and every time I went on a call, I was said to myself, I'm doing it. And then I just had an intuition where it just wasn't the right fit. Whether that was me, whether that was the coach, we'll never know. But I kept on pursuing it. I talked to you. I was sold. Didn't even know what you charged. I didn't know what it was going to be. I said, I'm pulling the trigger. I'm moving forward because I feel aligned. Because I did that kind of work on my own. I was ready to be coached and I was ready to take it to the next level. And look at what we've done in 6 months.
Yeah.
I took the summer off. So we mean like, as in like, I wasn't really hardcore in the summer, right? So it hasn't really been 6 intense months. And at all levels of my life, on all levels of my life, I've improved.
Yeah, you've done the work, and you are an example of what happens when someone says, I'm ready, and fully commits. We got a lot more work to do. I see you shining your light and sharing this work with many other people. I feel that you have it in you to really be a person to inspire many, many other people as well. You've got a great story, and you've got a big heart, and you've got the personality for it. And yeah, I'm just grateful to be on this journey with you, brother. And thank you for going all in and for choosing me as your coach and for doing the work.
Yeah, and good luck to anybody that's thinking about a coach. I would just say, interview Zarak.
Good.
Get to know him, right? And it may not be today, right? You may need some more time, but do the work. Follow the journey and see where it leads you. And if it's not Zarak, it's another coach. I think what Zarak can honestly tell you is that he's honestly, from the heart and the brain, the soul, wants the best for you and wants you to get to the next level.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah.
That's what I'm here for. Yeah. That's what God put me on this planet to do. And I'm blessed to work with people like you, like Jason, like Nick, like the rest of the guys. Yeah. I'm blessed. I'm grateful. Thank you, my man. Appreciate you. Let's go celebrate your birthday.
Yes.
Yeah.